$1 billion. That is an awful lot of money for such a young company with no revenue.
Yeah, much less profits. It's certainly a sign of the times, you know, and how important some of these technologies are to some of these companies. I think they're supposed to have only 12 employees, and if it was founded in October 2010, that's a pretty good chunk of change for a company of that age.
So what is Facebook thinking exactly? I mean, this is, again, as Simon mentioned, two words, no revenue, $1 billion.
I think what's happening is that Facebook just has come to realize two things. One, that photos are absolutely critical to its mission, and B, it's behind in mobile, and it needs to do something dramatic to catch up. You know, people are very good about sharing photos on a website through the Facebook, but less so on their mobile devices, which is where Instagram has specialized.
It is an awful lot of money, though, and it isn't that long ago that people were talking about a $500 million valuation for this company, and now obviously it's $1 billion. I mean, what changed so quickly? Was Facebook just that desperate?
I really don't know in the side detail of that yet. We'll probably know some details later, but I believe that it really is a function of where they are in their cycle. The IPO is pending. They need to sort of clear up their decks and make sure that all their sort of engines are firing. And I have a feeling that the mobile question was one that was looming over them as the IPO is in registration.
Okay, stay with us, Don. I want to hear from Kevin Systrom. He's the founder and CEO. We had him on Digits back in June 2011. It was a great privilege, and here's what he said.
The vision of this really is to share your life on the go, and I think for the foreseeable future we will be primarily mobile based. At the same time, we acknowledge there are a lot of people out there that want to share with people, you know, on the web, so it's certainly a priority for us.
Okay, that was Kevin Systrom, founder and CEO, last June on The Digit Show with me and Lauren Goode. Don, I thought that was interesting. He's clearly pointing to a way forward that was quite flexible. It sounds, I mean, it's easy to see in 2020 hindsight that, you know, maybe Facebook would have been an option. What do you think?
Well, yeah, it's true, and also it sort of shows the sign of the times. In the old days, you did web first and then you maybe did mobile. Now mobile is so much more important to so many young companies that web is almost an afterthought.
Do you think it's possible that, I mean, again, with the $1 billion price tag, is it possible that Facebook was trying to, you know, because this, of course, raises all the, you know, there's a bubble in this market, et cetera. Is this possibly Facebook's way of trying to preempt someone else from buying up Instagram or making a play for it?
It's very possible that there were other bidders, and there's a lot of deep pockets out there, from, you know, Google to Microsoft to you know, Apple. So there's very likely somebody else would have bought Instagram at some point. The question is when and for how much.
Yeah, and I'm coming back to $1 billion here. Now there are a lot of people who don't want to share on Facebook, or are getting less apt to want to share on Facebook, and they're happy doing that on Instagram. Do you think that's going to affect the acquisition in any way?
It's really hard to say. It comes at a very interesting time with the IPO in play, and we don't know exactly how much cash and how much stock is in the deal. And so there's a whole bunch of things. You know, you can sort of imagine that a new prospectus would be out soon talking about this as a risk factor. You know, unproven business with no revenue. You know, it's a factor on it. So I think that it's pretty hard to say about that.
And Don, what about the issue of privacy? We know, of course, that there have been some issues about the privacy question with Facebook. What is different about Instagram, and was there any discussion of that so far?
Not so far today that I've been able to hear. I think it's just as a more limited service and more on the go. I think people have just been more selective so far. You know, they're taking their individual shots. They're not revealing a lot of personal information necessarily. So I have the feeling that, you know, there easily could be privacy issues with Instagram, but I think they haven't surfaced yet because it's got a more limited mission at the moment.